The thing about objections is oftentimes objections scare people away, as in the salesperson or the realtor. Objections are nothing more than unanswered questions in the client's mind. And when we really understand that in this market, our sellers, our buyers, they have more questions than they've ever had before. So being able to handle those objections with a style and with a smile and with the right tonality and effective communication is frankly the biggest unfair advantage that you can have right now in this business. Michael, are you ready to take it over?
I am, and forgive me. Forgive me for my little delay here this morning. We have my office is right next to Barrett-Jackson. Do you know what that is? Like the big audio show and
Yes.
the Phoenix
Thanks
Open. So yeah, I didn't go to it myself, but something happened where they had a big old trailer of these $3, $4, $5 million cars getting dropped off that all of us need to be buying, right? And I was pulling in today. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a couple minutes. So I watched them be in front of me on this one little road to my office today, and we had a little bit of a delay. So I'm excited about this, Sam. I got to tell you, when you first asked me to do this, I'm like, of course, because we're brothers. I mean, that's one reason. But number two is I know the type of people that you surround yourself with. I know the type of team that you put together, and these are winners, people that want to look for the edge and make things happen. So when hundreds of people are here live and thousands are going to look at this later, this is really about the power to help us become more effective. So what's the best format for this today? I know you and I went back and forth in our ADD, and we could go for 80 hours covering stuff. So what's the best format today? Do you want to start with a couple questions, or do you want me just to go at it? You just tell me what you want to do, and I guarantee.
I'd say let's go at it. Let's have some fun, add some value. I have told the people attending that if they have questions, there's a Q&A section. So I'll manage that. You don't have to worry about it. So maybe we'll go for about 45 minutes and leave time for other Q&A at the end. And then if we do want to bring anybody live, we have the ability to do that. So I'd say let's start the show. I've seen you speak so many times, and being a seminar junkie, when I see you on the list of speakers, you're one of the sessions that I can't miss, and I'm always excited to participate in. So I know that everyone that's watching is going to enjoy it.
Well, that means a ton. I appreciate that. So we're gonna have some fun here today. Can you hear me well? It sounds good. You hear me well?
Yeah, give us a raise hand if you can hear him okay.
You can hear me well because I have another microphone, but that was I thought was causing the issue with the if you guys hear me well, if everyone's saying they hear me well, we're good. Great. Okay. So if you hear me clear, that's great. If not, I can take 30 seconds and see if that was the issue. I thought that was messing up the camera earlier, so I unplugged the microphone that I was using. But your guys' call, if that works, I can do that as well. But if not,
I'm hearing you loud and clear, my man.
Okay, good. Then I'm gonna roll, and let's get at it. So let me ask you a big question, Sam. What's the biggest thing on everybody's minds right now? Back on you real quick. If you guys can tell me, and I think I can see the questions in here. We could talk about a lot of different things. And what I love about working with the real estate community, no matter what aspect of it, whether it's the mortgage side, the investment side, the title side, the showing side, the listing side, the people living in a house side, helping coach people to make decisions where they want to live. One of the things I recognized is that a lot of people want to learn how to get themselves to sell more effectively, to really raise their bottom line. No matter where you are in the market, at the end of the day, our biggest game plan is to get ourselves to be people that are able to communicate in a way to get our ideas across to impact people in a massive way. So typically when I do coaching and I work with people, I do it live and in session. So this time it's going to be, I don't want to say a talking head, but I'm going to share a bunch of stuff. What I would love is, I don't really know, I see the Q&A box here. I believe they'll pop these out with me later. But my objective for all of you is to really allow yourselves to take some of the ideas that I share with you today and allow them to impact what you do later today and the people you deal with. I'm also going to tell you that the information that I'm going to discuss with you today goes way above and beyond real estate, because I will tell you, those of you that run your households better, those of you that are better with your significant others, those of you that are date people that don't drive you insane and you don't drive them insane. No matter where you are, it's the people in your life that affects our biggest piece of our bank account when it comes to this. So it's not just the buyers and the sellers we got to work with. We've got to work with our families and everything as a whole. So I'm going to talk to you about something that Sam has never seen me discuss before. And this is one of the topics that is very, very hot on hand right now. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background and what it is that I do, because I am in real estate for the aspect, like I'm in a building, I own an institute here, I own several pieces of commercial real estate, I've got residential properties, I own homes, I work with thousands of people all over the world, helping them on the recruiting side of their business, the selling side of their business, the listing side, shifting how they position things. But at the end of the day, I have a very, very unique background with a very, very unique set of skills. I know a lot of the other speakers that you're going to see that are going to come on eventually, and I'm going to tell you, everyone's got incredible skills. Mine are very unique, no different than Liam Neeson in Taken. And I would say, like, I have a unique set of skills that are very, very different. So Sam and I, over the years, have been a part of quite a few masterminds and different groups that each of us have been a part of. And I'm part of like very good business masterminds. And then I'm part of very, very unique masterminds with very, very unique sets of people. So when I go to these groups, I realize that there's great people in this world. Like there's the winners, the people that do the right thing. They've got a lot of integrity. They're amazing. And then there's people that kind of cut corners or maybe use the things that I teach not exactly in the best way. So some of these groups that I'm part of, and if you've ever experienced this before in your business, like, are there people in your town or community that do what you do, but they cut corners, they're not the best at what they do, they kind of lie about stuff or just whatever. We all know those people. So I'm not saying that these people are liars, but what I am saying is they work for a different group that I would not do business with, but they're doing the same thing that I'm doing. So number one, I've mastered the art over the years of getting people's attention. So being in real estate, one of the greatest things we need to do is to get people's attention, whether it's to get them on the phone with us, get them to list with us, get their attention to freaking just shut up and buy this property because I've shown you 87 others. You love it, but you don't have the courage to just buy it. We've got to figure that out. And I've also realized that that's my job, is to get people's attention. Also, to lower their resistance to whatever might be in their way. A lot of people are in love with their current place, or they're in love with a number that they have inside of their mind that they want for their place. And maybe we're going to get it for them, maybe they're not. And if we lower the resistance, we've got the ability to help them become more receptive to what it is that we're doing. So when I say this is what I do, get people's attention, lower the resistance, increase the receptivity, that's really all of us need to have the ability to do. So who are these other people that I'm in a group with? Well, they're not just business owners. They represent the largest companies in the world: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Tinder, dating sites. They represent Fox, NBC, ABC. And you know, they use the same technology that I use: get people's attention, lower the resistance, increase receptivity. And all of us are very similar to you. We don't really do what we think we do. And at the end of the day, everything we do is really based on what I would call dealing drugs. Now, I'm gonna let that sink in for a minute. I'm not talking about ayahuasca journeys. I'm not talking about smoking or chewing things. I'm not talking about shooting things up. I'm talking about how your words affect the nervous system of another human being, and how the selected word at the right time gets people to do certain things, whether it's your kids to get their homework done, whether it's someone to get in the car and drive with you to go look at some places and really make a decision, whether it's them to trust you. It's your words that are eliciting drugs inside of another person's mind that most of you don't realize that you have the capacity to do. I'll give you an example. Netflix spends millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars hiring people like me. I won't work for those companies, but hiring them every year so they can just get you hooked enough to fall in love with their show enough for you to click the continue button so they get $15.95 from you. Some of you parents that you say to yourself, like, hey, Michael, you know, I can't stand Instagram. My kid's on it all the time, or TikTok drives me nuts. Not because I use it for business, but my kid does it instead of the homework. Well, the reason your kid does it is, instead of getting mad at these companies, wouldn't it be smart if we turned around and said, what are they doing that gets people's attention? And how can I use that as well? So it's not that they don't want to do your homework or your kids don't want to talk to you. It's mom and dad, you're freaking boring and TikTok's not. So we need to send off signals. It doesn't mean we need to dance around and do stuff that makes us have the same reaction with our kids, so they decide to do what needs to happen. So where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is very, very important. I have found out over the years, and this is a starting place for all of us. If you get obsessed with this, I'd love to teach you how to work with us and I can help you do this. But for now, my biggest thing is I've realized that every single one of us is dealing drugs on a regular basis. But the challenge is the concoction that we're delivering is the wrong one at the wrong time. So instead of giving you a series of sales scripts, what if I gave you a series of chemical compositions that you can use and a series of 4 things that are going to make a difference? So the first part of today, I'm going to talk to you about the drugs and how to use them and how to impact people. This is going to blow your mind. After today, you're going to go, holy shit, I will never do the beginning of one of my meetings again. Within 10 minutes from now, you will never say the same thing again at the beginning of a meeting. And the reason why is I guarantee you're setting yourself up for failure with half the people based on what you're currently doing. The second thing after that, I want to talk to you about how to get people to change and shift, because to get someone to get out of the house they were in, make a decision to get a new home, to list with you and walk away from the agent that they were in requires them to live differently and identify with themselves in a different way. So this is not making a sale, because folks, you can't sell someone a house. I thought I could sell someone a house. This huge property. Deborah and I were looking to sell, gorgeous house in North Scottsdale, 7,200 square feet. I tried to sell it every time somebody came in. I showed them all the different rooms and I realized how emotional it is for people to buy a home. So you can't sell them a home, but you can activate inside of them what gets them to buy a home. So then they can make a decision. You get the commission, 2 parties switch transactions and everything wins. And by the time we're done here today, I'm going to share with you a couple of really cool things about how to position your cost, how to affect people in a big way. And this is going to be super, super powerful as well. So I don't know if I see your chat box or not. I don't know if I do. If someone tells me how that works, I'll see it. If not, I'm just going to assume I'm talking to myself right now, and that's going to be totally fine. So let's talk about
Q&A as they come up, Bernoff, and I'll
no
let
problem.
you know when questions come
If
up.
anything comes up,
you're
that's
doing great.
Great.
Perfect.
Fantastic. It's perfect. Perfect. So this is the big thing I'm going to tell you. Number one, a lot of us think that if we get people excited, that they're going to become better clients. And I'm going to tell you something I learned from Starbucks and studying their business model. For every one of us that drinks Starbucks, congratulations. I look at it as financial devastation. I don't drink Starbucks. I buy stocks. I buy real estate. I don't buy $8 coffee. Now, if I want it, I could buy it. I have a $250,000 video wall downstairs that I buy. I like to buy that versus coffee, because then I get to the Super Bowl party. They're playing it downstairs. So I'm making sure my ADD doesn't kick in and I don't watch it down the hallway. But what Starbucks has figured out is if they can get you excited, they can get you excited for about 45 minutes, peddling a little something called dopamine to you. So whenever you show up at a meeting, you get someone excited, you're getting them a 45-minute high. And this is what a lot of people do. Oh my gosh, this would be amazing. It's gonna be a great process. That's great. And then every time you're peddling dopamine, which is the excitement chemical in people, what happens is words like, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be exciting. I'm thrilled you're gonna work with me. This is gonna be awesome. We're gonna find you a great house. You've got to reshoot them up with that about every 45 minutes, like giving them a little dime bag. You're getting them super excited about it for about 45 minutes, and then it wears off. Starbucks' business plan is very simple. They know that you're worth, pay attention, $13,462 in a lifetime. That is a lifetime value of a customer that they induce dopamine to. So some of you are like, all right, Michael, I got it. If that's the dime bag, if that's the quick hit, if that's the gateway drug for people, what do you got that's better? Well, I'll share with you the thing that the crypto people use, that all of the chat GPT people are using right now, and the AI people are using. And it's a little something called cortisol. And it's a fear-based mechanism that people use to scare people. Now, cortisol is the chemical you use, and there's a very select reason for doing this. Anytime you're scared of something, or you feel fear, or you're worried, you get about a 2-week induction that it's hard to get rid of. So this is why you've got a tough conversation to have with your wife, your husband, someone you need to fire, tough conversation you need to have. You whittle it out with a million different people, and it's hard to get out of your mind. It's not that people are negative. It's when you drive by a car accident, you see it. It doesn't mean that you're negative when you look at it. That is your mind looking to keep you alive, because that's our brain's biggest function, to keep you alive and to memorize anything that could hurt you, kill you, make you have a bad day, to memorize it so you don't do that shit. So if you want to get someone super excited for a period of time, we could scare them. We could say, listen, if you don't take this house, it'll be gone in a minute. Oh my God, cortisol rush. Oh my God, what happens, this and that? This is the perfect house. 45-minute high. Holy shit, this could not work out. That's a cortisol hit. And I would say This is what most marketers are doing. Selling people enthusiasm, excitement. Now's the time to buy. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. We got the Super Bowl here in a couple of weeks. Oh my God, perfect timing. Get your house listed. People are moving here. Sam's coming to town. He's going to love it. It's going to be great. Oh my God. And if you could miss out, it's a 2-week. And I'm dosing people between high and I'm dosing people between fear. And this is how most people are doing their marketing. And then there becomes the elevated level of play people. So the elevated people, when they hire me, they come along and they say, Michael, I get it. What should I do? And my answer is, really, what is the outcome that you want? Do you want people to follow you to the end of the earth? Do you want people to make quick decisions? Do you want the same thing that Netflix gets, where people cannot drop at all the show? Because Netflix, if you watch the shows, they get you excited, scare you, excited, scare, excited, scare, excited, scare. But they're doing something else that we don't realize. And there's a very, very powerful chemical that all of us need to use. So if you've got a team of people and you've ever said to your team, I'm proud of you. Think about that for a second. Maybe people told you they're proud of you. Maybe you've told people you're proud of them. I'm going to tell you that if you're a business leader, a parent, and you've ever told someone you're proud of them, I'm going to tell you this: never say that shit again. I'm going to let that sit in for a minute. Now, all you people up in arms at what I'm about to say, I'm going to explain why. If you want them to need you forever and to not feel personally empowered, you can do that. If you want your kids to not move out of the house, tell them you're proud of them and explain why. It's like Pavlov. If you ring the bell, if you remember Pavlov, you ring the bell, and what happens? The dog salivates, it knows it's time to eat. And then what happens immediately? It runs in it knows it's time to eat. So every time you say, I'm proud of you, you induce serotonin in that other person. They stare at you and they say, you're in charge, Michael, of me feeling proud of myself and proud of my decision muscle. Thank you for being in touch with that. So our job as entrepreneurs, as salespeople, as incredible business leaders, is to empower other people. So imagine trying this on for size. I say the word try because we fail sometimes when we do things. I'm going to throw this on purpose. So imagine telling somebody, instead of saying, I'm proud of you, imagine saying these words: you should be proud of yourself. That sale you just made, you've worked hard. You should be proud of you. And at that moment, we build up that confidence inside that person. Go, damn straight, I should be proud of myself. Because what would you rather hear? I'm proud of you, and I get you over all your mommy and daddy abandonment issues, or you should be proud of you. You made that decision. You worked hard. You did that. So where does this come in sales? Well, it comes in very simple. On the first meeting. On the first meeting, when I meet with someone, you can say, hi, I'm Sam. I'm going to be your agent. I'm going to help you list your house. Nice to meet you. I represent Big Block, blah, 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 blah. This is going to be great. Oh my God, this is amazing. And they're like, I've heard this before. That neural pathway, I've heard this before. Alternatively, what if we build up somebody right off the bat and we said this? So I see Damon's name here. Imagine we were to just very simply say, Damon, I want to congratulate you in advance and commend you for setting up this meeting. Very few people literally do something about investing in the next home. They talk about it, they don't do something about it. And here you are making that decision. Your family should be proud of you for doing this. The reason I tell you that is you're doing this. You're reminding them that they make the decision. I'll do it in slow motion. You sit down with someone or you get on a Zoom with somebody. I just want to tell you right off the bat, you should be proud of yourself by having the courage to get into the market right now and look at houses. Very few people have the courage to go find the home they want. And here we are doing it. You should be proud of you. So you just shot up somebody and showed them how to shoot up themselves with this feeling of serotonin, which is the feeling you get when you made a good decision. And this is what all the big companies are after. This is what Netflix and all the companies and the politicians and everybody are after. They're after your serotonin. They're after you feeling proud of the decision that you made, because people that are proud of themselves will stick with whatever it is they're marketing. I'll cover this more during the Q&A portion later, but I got to tell you, rather than saying, this is going to be a great meeting, we're going to find a great house, you should be proud of yourself. The fact that you sat down with me and we're going to find you your dream property, you should be proud of yourself that you actually have the courage to do it. A lot of people talk, but not you. Boom. You just did something no other agent ever did in the world. You just induced them with serotonin. They feel proud of their decisions and they're impactful. Now, the next part of this goes into 2020. Now, if you learned anything in 2020, Zoom is cute, but dude, I miss giving Sam a hug. I missed, throwing high fives, meeting with people face to face. Like the Zoom thing is cute, but it eliminated oxytocin, the feeling you get when you feel like you're connected. So when somebody says, what is it your company does? We got to be really clear. We got to say, if you're looking for an agent, look at my hands. There's a million of those out there. That is not what we do here. I want to explain to you what Big Block does. We're a community, an entire company, family-run business that works directly with you and your family to ensure that you find the perfect property for you and help you in every step of the way. If you're just looking for a transaction, you've got the wrong company. But if you want a community that's going to work together, a team that are going to help you find what it is you're looking for from the start to the finish, the entire process, you've got the right place. It's called positioning, folks, but also it's inducing the oxytocin, letting them know that you're inviting them into their family. This is not a lie. It's the truth. It's a family company. I guarantee Sam's kids come to the office sometimes. His wife's around sometimes. Okay, we all have our companies. We're all involved. So you got to use your hands and you got to go, listen, if all you want, I want to be really clear. If all you want is a transaction and an agent, that's the other guys. We are a family-run company that works directly with your family. Think of this. You're getting in their family. We are a family-run business that works directly with your family on every part of the transaction to ensure that you find the home that you enjoy living with until you realize you want one even better. The reason I'm telling this is about offering higher level drugs to people, making them proud and confident, and also letting them know there's a connection here. This is what very few people are doing. I have entire organizations right now that are doing this with their people for years. And what's interesting about it, I said, Michael, I've been doing this for years. It speeds up the transaction time. It makes them more comfortable and it separates from our competition. But here's the other magic it does. If you go back to this book, Made to Stick, they're going to turn around quickly and they're going to say, dude, they're not a real estate company, these guys. These guys, they're not a real estate company at all. Do you know what these people are? They're like a family-run organization, and they're working directly with my family. They're walking my dog. They've got a car seat in the car. They're working with my kids. And the reason I'm telling all of you this is you choose what level of drugs you want to sell. We sell them the cheap shit or the stuff people want. Decisiveness, confidence. That's how we get people to grow. So if you're getting this, give me a thumbs up, hands up that you're getting it, because I'd love to see it. Not that I need to feel good about myself. I want to make sure you're hearing me. So here's the deal. The next appointment you're on, how does it go? I'll do it in slow motion. You go to an appointment, you get on a Zoom, you meet with someone today. You want to say very, very simple. Listen, I want to tell you real quick a little about Big Block. How familiar are you with how we work? Well, we're not. I want to tell you, if you're looking for a real estate company, you got the wrong company. And then they're going to be confused. And what's great about confusion is they're about to learn something. So you go, a real estate company, that's over here. When our founders set out to build this company, they wanted to build a family-run organization where we work together with you and your family to ensure that you get the home that you want. So then when someone says, who did you use? Dude, we use Big Block. Why? Dude, they're like this family company. They practically walked my dog. The reason I'm saying this is you're going to get a double sales pitch, because at the end of the day, if you're transactional and all you want to do is close the deal and you're not seeding them on how they're going to explain to you to others, there's only one word for that. Foolish. Don't do that. It's silly. Don't do it. And the reason I'm saying that is we've got to get ourselves to grow. So let's talk about right now the process of getting somebody to make a new decision. So let's talk about this right now. And I'm going to check my time frame and then I'll answer questions afterwards. And Sam, I'd love anything anybody has. I've been on every side. I've been responsible for billions with a B, billions of dollars in sales over the years. And I'd love to hear your questions. So let's talk about what stops
Michael, can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead, brother.
In the Q&A, I want you to know everyone's saying how much they're enjoying this. So great job. Thank you for adding so much value. I do want to address something because Michael, you and I, we go to these events and I'm used to hearing these things that you talk about, right? Primarily from you. And I think
if anybody said it, I'll get them.
I think that there's a percentage of people that might be listening right now that might think, oh, this is a little gypsy, this is a little different, this is a little bit out there, right? And the answer, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you're right. This is a little bit different. This is a little bit, insert any word. But in this business, like you said, everyone can do what we do. All we need is the 3% differentiator. If you could simply make people feel 3% more comfortable, more happy, induce those feelings that you're talking about, if it makes a 3% difference, you have edged out the competition. And what I always like to say is, when you do what Michael's talking about, you've effectively taken that client off the market, because the way Michael makes me feel, no other agent can make me feel. So for that reason, Michael's my guy. Michael's my agent. These little things might seem a little thing. They might seem out there if you're not comfortable with them. But as soon as you start to internalize these and understand, the idea is to just make yourself 3-4% different than everybody else.
I love that. And the reason I bring that up, and I just jump into it because here's the deal. Everyone out there, you're a huge winner at what it is that you do. And there's one thing I years ago, it hit me with my kids, right? I'll tell you about a differentiator. So my daughter's a figure skater. And I remember her first competition she ever went to. I said, Maya, go out there and win. She gave me a look like this. Okay. Maya's never won before. I just gave someone a command to win. It's like, go sell to someone that's never sold. So she looks at me and she's like, okay. And then I brought her back. I said, Maya, come back here. I got a better idea. Go show off everything you've been doing and have fun. She went out there and showed off, and she took first place and won. After that, she had a neural pathway for winning. Now she knows what winning feels like. One different word, win versus show off, is huge. So when I was a kid and I used to go to Chess King at the mall, I remember wanting a pair of Cavaricci pants. Do you remember these, Sam? Do you remember these back in the day?
I don't.
Oh God. Okay. So the back east thing, it's like an Italian thing. I'm not Italian, but pants like $90 when I'm in 8th grade, and everyone wanted them, right? I used to walk in the mall and the lady goes, can I help you? And I said, no, I'm just looking. So every time she said, can I help you? I responded with just looking. I was auto-programmed that way. So when you pick up your kids from school and go, how was your day? Your kids automatically say, it was okay. And then you come to me and go, Michael, my kid, man, he's depressed. What's wrong? Your kid's depressed because you keep on asking stupid friggin' questions. So you're better off turning around and saying to your kid, I bet today was a waste of time and you learned nothing today. Well, no, it wasn't a waste of time. And they'll give you something different.
Ooh,
Our
good.
questions stimulate a different answer. So when you sit down with someone, Sam, and you go, okay, so let's go through the MLS and let's go everything. They've heard this before. They're expecting it. So when you say something and do something different, let's backtrack. So when we were kids and we watched those horror movies, what happens right before the murder scene? There's a sex scene. Why? Because it goes sex scene, murder, sex scene, murder, because you weren't expecting it. So I'm not saying we got to produce a sex scene, but we do need to produce is something very powerful, something different than what they expected. So when someone says, I want to let you know, we are not primarily a real estate company. What? We're more than a real estate company. We're the people that help you find the house that you've always been looking for. So if all you want is real estate, there's a million companies out there. We're a communications company that works directly with your family to help you get what you want, to be ensure that you wind up in the home you're supposed to live in. So I want you to understand that. I'm telling you folks, you break their neural pathway and you develop a new one. It's like Red Bull versus Coke. Coke was a 90-cent can. Red Bull comes on the market, this is like the blue ocean thing, and they come out of nowhere and they say, how do we sell this thing for $4? We make it smaller and we put it in a new category. And the new category they have is sports and energy drink. So why am I telling you this? If you want to get away from your competition, you can destroy them by making them wrong and right at the same time. If all you want is real estate, it's over there. Why am I telling you this? Because this is how we get ourselves to grow. So let's talk about the next thing here real quick.
Michael, real quick, a question just came up from Missy. Missy says, I totally love this. However, how do you approach the individual that has not started a family yet? Someone that is purchasing a loan.
You purchasing a loan or a home?
They're purchasing a home, but they're alone. They have not yet started a family.
You would say, very simply the same thing. You would say, I just want to let you know we're a family-run company. We work directly with all the individuals we work with, and we bring you into our family. And we work directly with you to help you get what it is you want. So we find you the home that is the perfect point in your life until it's not. And then when it's not, we'll help you find the next home. So we're going to teach you all the things that we learned and all the stuff during the way. So we're a knowledge base. So we're not primarily just a real estate company. We're a knowledge base. So we're going to see things that you don't normally see. Let me give you an example. In 2020, most of us learned the things we like and don't like about our house. We help you find the home you're going to want in 5 years today. So you're not calling me in 3 years to buy another house. We talk to you about your life, what it is you're going to want, and really what you're working towards. Sam, nobody's saying that, are they?
No, they're not. I love that. And something I'll add to it, I think Missy maybe asked this question when you said, I'm proud of you, you're doing something great for your family, etc. You could just reframe that and say, I'm really proud of you for making the decision that's going to put you in a better path, one step
financially
forward towards your financial freedom that one day may benefit future generations, right? It's all about picking the right words that make the most sense for that individual.
If a first-time home buyer, I would say to them, I just want to congratulate you in advance for having the courage to even have this conversation. The fact that about 10 years from now, you're going to own an asset that is worth probably double what you paid for, at least 25 to 30% more, is freaking genius. Most people your age are going to be renting forever. And here we are buying you a home. Freaking amazing. All I got to say is you should be proud of yourself, Rockstar.
Love it.
You guys getting this?
Yeah, you're getting a lot of compliments. MVP with Village said, Michael, you should be proud of yourself for being on this call. You can be doing anything else in the world, but you made the decision to coach us this morning.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I love hearing that. I'm also going to tell you why I'm here. A, I love Sam. That's going to be primary. What someone else asked, I had another training this morning, so I jumped off one to the other to get here. But the big reason I'm here is I have kids, folks, and I need entrepreneurs to be successful, to make money, to keep capitalism going in this world. So when my kids are older, they have people to hang out with, and your children and your grandchildren can hang out with my children and grandchildren. So I am recruiting you guys to be better communicators, so my kids have people to hang out with. So there's enough crazy, weird people in this world. I need entrepreneurs to be badasses. So my kids, next time they're in California or Nebraska or wherever anyone is, there's great people out there. So I want to teach this knowledge to people so they get it. Everybody got it?
Got it. You're getting a lot of compliments. Let's keep going, Bubba.
I love it. I could go through a bunch of stuff. So Sam, what would be an angle that you want me to get into? Because I have 100,000 things I want to cover. Why don't we just jump into, anyone tells me any challenge they have or any part of the business, and I've got a strategy or process to get you better at it quickly. Who's got one?
Yeah, throw those in the Q&A. While those come up, I'll tell you what I know is really top of mind for everyone right now, is buyers are scared because of two things. One, is the market going to continue to drop? And two, they have been priced out of what they originally thought they can get because rates have gone up. We've addressed this on almost every call with tactics and ideas. How would you address, the buyer that is motivated, wants to make a decision, but is a little bit spooked with the fact that there's a bit of FUD out there, fear, uncertainty, doubt, rates have gone higher, etc.
Okay, so the person with the rates that can go higher, let me ask you this, Sam. Can that person afford the property? Yes or no?
Yes. So ultimately, there's programs to help them afford it, or they need to adjust, instead of getting 2,800 square feet, maybe they land at 2,500 square feet, right? And then there is actually people that have been completely priced out of the market. We call that a condition, not an objection, right?
I can't help with them right now with the condition people, but
right.
Okay. So let's just say people say houses are expensive right now. So I want you to tell me that it's just expensive. So if you
Michael,
tell me
it's just with rates being where they are, the payment is more than we were originally thinking about, and that kind of affects our purchase power.
Okay, so I'm going to say it's actually not expensive. It's actually the price it is right now. It's actually just unexpected, meaning like 2 years ago, you wouldn't have expected this number. So expectations minus reality creates a lot of disappointment. Would you agree with that, Sam?
Yes.
Okay, so I would love to change the numbers for you, but I have a better conversation I'd like to ask you right now. Not what is the price of the house you want. What would you like this home to do for you? Now, let's backtrack a second, and I'm going to take it away from real estate for a minute. I'm going to teach you. Whenever you talk about a second option, okay? So how old are your kids now, Sam?
7 and 5.
Okay. So are either of them in after-school programs or karate, dance, martial arts, anything?
Yes, all of the above.
Okay. What is the cost of any of those activities after school? Pay attention, everybody, because I'm going to show you how to charge 10 times more for something.
That's my wife's question, but I do know that every time she tells me, I'm like, really? That's how much we spent? So I'm going to guess, every time we put cash in a basketball league, we're into it for maybe close to $500 to $1,000.
Okay.
Just yesterday, my daughter said she wanted to get into tennis. So my wife goes and buys rackets and balls. And I'm like, she doesn't even know yet.
Yep. Okay. So let's just pretend karate is $300 a month. So when someone says to me, how much does it cost? And they call the school. I want you to pay attention. It's everything to do with real estate. It's the same technique. When someone says, how much does it cost? I quickly say, wrong question. And then, what do you mean wrong question? I got a better question for you. What would you like martial arts to do for your child or for you? And like, I don't know, what can it do? Well, I want to let you know what we do. We are not martial arts. If all you want is a home or all you want is martial arts, then the price is high. Is everybody understanding what I'm saying? What I realized is we're a family-run organization, work directly with your family to help raise your child through all of the difficult situations, through the young years, to the formative years, to the teen years and the bullying. So eventually when they go off to college, they've got scholarships and they're leaders and they're kids you're proud of on a regular basis. So we're going to work directly with your family to help you raise your children in an effective way. Think of us as part of the family. We're $1,000 a month. And we are going to help your kids be the most effective at school and life. I would pay $2,000 to raise my kids. How many of you understand that? Everybody catching on? So the purpose of why I'm saying that is if all you're buying is a house, it's way too expensive. Does everybody understand what I just said?
That's so
now
good.
I'm going to tell you, you just fucked with someone. And they're like, what is it then? The house is 3 things: an asset, a living environment, and something that can make you happy that traditionally will go up in value. Most investors fail because they look at today. Am I correct? So if you're planning on buying it and selling it tomorrow, well, we couldn't even do that if we wanted to, we wouldn't. So I would ask the question is, what are you planning on doing with this home?
I'm planning on living in it and giving my family security and, having a place that we can call home and build memories around.
Very good. So I don't know what those memories are worth, but here's my question. My question for you is, what if I told you we're buying memories, we're buying this? And the reason I'm bringing this up is my desire, okay, to get you is not to sell you a home. It's to get you the things you want. So as we're looking at this price right now, if all you're buying is a home, it's completely overpriced. But if we're talking about memories, if we're talking about these great things, in 8 years from now, when you're ready to sell it and buy a bigger house because your kids are now older, or you're making more money and you want to do the next thing, you're going to be realizing that you're developing an asset. Are you catching on? So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because we've got to change their perspective. There's 2 ways to change people's lives. One is change their actions, and number 2 is change their perspectives. So the way that I would do it is I'd say very simply, with confidence, I'd say if all you're looking to buy is a home, it definitely costs more than it did 2 years ago. But if you're planning on living on it, creating memories, increasing the value of it, and selling it for more down the road, it actually doesn't matter what price you buy it for.
I love that. That's really good. Another question from Ishira. You have so much confidence when you speak. How can someone who gets nervous and begins to stutter get to a point where they are speaking confidently and really selling themselves?
Yep. Well, you're eventually going to want to work with me. I'll tell you that, because that's one of the things I teach is confidence. It's one of the things you want to do, and that's not a sales pitch for me, but it is a sales pitch for me. You're definitely going to work with me eventually. I'm going to help you with that. But for the short run, to develop your confidence in what it is you do, every one of us needs to get more effective working with people. I teach a course called Call to Action. And one of the days I tell everybody that if you're a business owner, you've got to put yourself in positions that force you to get more comfortable speaking, and we've got to have experience doing it. So you're new to this. You might have been prior a school teacher. You might have been prior, nothing prior. Could have been a stay-at-home mom. You could have worked in electronics. You could have worked at a mall. This is new to you. So it's not that it's hard to speak, and it's not that you lack confidence. You lack experience with what it is we're doing. So I tell everybody, we should all join a BNI, a networking group, not to generate leads, Toastmasters, something like that, to practice talking about what we do on a regular, because the more often you talk about it, the more comfortable it becomes. So I'm going to tell you, you've got to put yourself in a position that you get out there. I did my 10,000 hours on speaking and stages and everything by the time I'm 26 years old, right? I'm 46 years old this year. So I've done this for a few minutes, right? But I'm going to tell you, you got to get your 10,000 hours out of the way. And how do we do that? We put ourselves in positions to win and put ourselves out there. So I wish I had a shortcut, but one of those shortcuts is it could be Bible studies at your church. It could be Toastmasters, but I've got a protocol that I put people through. And if people say, Michael, what do you do? I teach communication. I teach confidence and congruency. Do what you say you're going to do, be confident, and speak in a way that's effective. It doesn't have to say these weird things, but I'm just going to tell you it's big. So I got time, Sam. So let's use this wisely. What are the questions we got?
If you have any other questions, chat, throw them in. I selfishly, I see that marker in your hand, and every time I see you on the whiteboard, you drop some fire. So why don't we let you do what you were going to do with the marker and chat? I mean, you're just getting a ton of fire emojis, and I love this. So I think that says to us you're doing a great job. If you have questions, throw them in, and we'll let Michael run with his marker because it's always magic.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So here's what all of us are dealing with. Let's forget about sales for a minute. Let's talk about the ultimate sales pitch of all. How to sell you on becoming who you're capable of being. Because folks, at the end of the day, Sam and I selfishly want you to make a shit ton of money. I mean, honestly, why? Because I need people to hang out with. I need people to go on yacht trips with us. I need people to be rich. I need people to do cool things. Am I right, Sam? We want everybody to make a lot of money, correct?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, I want all of you to buy homes from each other and joke around like, I'm going to just buy from you this week and I'll give you the commission. It's going to be fun. I want all of you to have a lot of money. So what stops us from being exceptional in this world? And I'm going to tell you, it's the same thing that stops someone from buying. So all of us in our lives have gotten to a point where we've said to ourselves these words, never again. And I'm just going to throw this at you for a second. You put this wall behind you where you say, never again will I do that. Sometimes it's over a toilet bowl seat because maybe we had one too many. Sometimes you had food poisoning, sometimes in a relationship. Some of you, congratulations, walked away from a job you shouldn't have been at, and now you're an agent, congratulations. And you said, never again. All human beings do this. And we say to ourselves, never again. So whenever you're dealing with people, in their brain, there's a never again. Some of them said, I will never be sold by anybody on the first call. You're dealing with their never again. I got you. Never again. That is my $200,000 college education, cannot spell. I learned more from CDs. Anybody got it? Never again. Got it? So whenever you say never again to yourself, instantly you say, well, what do you want? I want to be rich. I want a better husband. I want a better wife. I want a better house. And you say, what do you want? And these are the two walls that control most people's lives. Dopamine, what do you want? Cortisol, fear, what you don't want. Dopamine, what do you want? Cortisol, fear, what you don't want. Dopamine, what you want? Fear. We go back and forth between these. But this is not what controls your day-to-day activity. The next thing that controls your day-to-day activity, everyone just put the right hand up. Your right hand is your identity. We all identify as something in our lives. Most people identify as a person that owns their current home, or you identify as someone that makes 6 figures, or you identify as someone that makes 7 figures, or you identify as someone that moves 3 homes a year, or identify as myself as a new agent. Stop identifying as a new agent. The reason is new agents don't make sales. Okay. I am now an agent, but we have an identity. So let's just say, for an example, you're going to bed. You got this big plan. Tomorrow morning, you're going to work out. You're going to go to yoga in the morning, go to CrossFit, whatever. You go to bed with your Lululemon outfit on. You got your hat on before bed. You got your keys in the car. Big plan of what you're going to do. Alarm set for 4 a.m. Tomorrow's going to be the day that I change my life. So you wash your face, you comb your hair, you get ready to go to bed, take a shower, and you take off your plan of who you were today and you put it over who you're going to be tomorrow. So when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you see is who you were yesterday, and you do it again. We are controlled by our identity. And our identity is we don't do things like that. So when someone knows I buy homes that are $1 million, I don't buy ones that are 2 million. So the problem is it's hard to push people. We've got to get them because we're battling with dun, 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 their identity and ours. So our identity controls us. This is why most of us make about the same amount of money every year. This is why we prospect about the same amount of people each week. This is why we have about the same amount of appointments each week. If I were to call Mark Zuckerberg right now, who knows more about your life than you do, Mark would so easily say, he would say very, very simply, yeah, you do need to listen to 3 more times. Mark would say, this is how many times they're intimate in a year, how many times they watch videos in a year, how many times they curse in a year, how many times they sell in a year, how many times they log into the bank account. You have an average that controls your life. And most of you have people in your life that control your reality. The people in your life make the decisions for you. This is oxytocin. This is your dopamine. This is your cortisol. And your identity is what you're proud of. And most of us are proud of who we are. So let me teach you a little secret. In order for someone to buy a new home, they need to admit they already bought the wrong one. How many of you realize that's hard? You got to get people to admit they made a mistake. It's hard. It hurts. How many of you are getting this? If you are, raise your hand. You're basically saying, admit you screwed up. This is what we're asking people to do. So we got to get them over that. Now, how do we do that? This thing for you is called your average. This controls our lives. I'm going to show you to get around this. I wrote a book called Average Sucks. I'll show you guys how to get it in a bit. But the purpose is, the reason I wrote this is, I grew up middle class. I was trained to be average, like all of us are. So we need to break out of our average. So I'm going to give you a little secret. Imagine you walked into a business meeting and you said, what do you want on the MLS? What do you not want? This is the more important piece of the puzzle. People are controlled by their identity and the people in their lives more than their wants and don't wants. This is why people drink when they don't want to drink. This is why people don't skip the gym when they don't want to skip the gym. This is why people stay where they don't want to stay, and they don't leave a community that they should leave. So instead, here's the magic question. What kind of house do you want? What kind of house do you not want? Here's the better question. When we finally find you the home you're looking for, who in your life is going to benefit most from the home when you're living in it? You know what they're going to say? And Sam's going to say my wife. And I'm going to say, Sam, what's her name? And he's going to say it. And I'm going to say, let's do this for her. Boom. Anybody getting this?
That was science right there.
Sam, how proud are you going to be when you're finally walking into the home that you wanted to live in? And after it's cleaned up after about 90 days, who are the first people that are going to be at your first party? What are their names, Sam?
I'm going to invite my dad, my in-laws, Corey and Oliver, Cherie, Kevin.
Could you imagine how it's going to feel when you're giving Oliver the tour of the house?
I'm going to be pretty proud.
And you should be. And that's what we're talking about today. This home is not for you. If it's only for you, it's expensive. But if it's for your family and the people you love and future memories, it's actually inexpensive because those are priceless.
That's so good.
Folks, we're going to go after the identity and the people. How do we do this? When I sell weight loss with people, I sell them this. I basically say to them, listen, when you're feeling better, okay, watch this, Sam. When you finally find the home you want and the stress is gone, who's going to be the beneficiary of you being calm in your new home?
My kids and my wife.
How proud are you going to be as a dad when you finally get to put your kid to bed and realize it's one less thing to worry about?
I'll feel like I can finally breathe again.
Your kids need you to be able to breathe. So let's get past this numbers thing so we can get you to have a great experience with your home.
That makes a lot of sense. What's interesting about this, Michael, is, you're obviously way more skilled at sharing these thoughts than me. In my trainings, I always say, folks, you think that you're selling a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,500 square foot home. You're not. That is simply the prerequisite of the type of you're going to buy. What you're buying them is the benefits that the home will give them. And, you know, the benefits are, well, maybe it's an extra bedroom for your newborn kid. Maybe it's, like you said, how it's going to affect the people in your life. We have to get real with the fact that we are not selling a door with a lock, a backyard, a staircase. We are not selling that. We are selling the benefits of what this property gives them. And the way that you just broke that down, honestly, I mean, it's inspiring. And I think that all of us have a lot to learn from, you know, these really profound, but honestly, simple thoughts. Like, you're not saying anything that is rocket science. You're actually speaking to the core of everybody. And any good person wants to make smart decisions for the people that they love.
People's ego gets in the way. So if I were to market a home, I was teaching on Martin Luther King Day last week, and I said, he had a dream. And I said, I don't take the day off, because that guy would have never taken a day off. He'd probably be bothered we did take a day off. We should honor and respect, but why would we take a day off when that man never took a day off? And I said, one of the things he said is, I have a dream. So I'm going to tell you, I have a vision. So when we sit in a home, I have a vision of this room in this house being used for blank. How many of you recognize what I just said? Like, that's genius. Do you guys get it? Like, I have a vision of your family doing a meal in this kitchen, laughing and giggling. I got a vision of you moving into this home after 90 days when everything's put away and you throw in your first party. I got a dream of this. And the reason I say that is it's so powerful. If you tell them you have a vision for them, folks, nobody ever says they have a vision for you. And this is not like sales and manipulation techniques. This is point blank showing you care. Same thing I'm doing today. I care. I'm not here for my health today. I care. I love capitalism, folks. I love entrepreneurship. I love investing, and I love real estate. And if we don't stay great at this, the machines take over like Terminator. Do you guys understand? So we got to be great.
I love that. We got another question here, Michael, from Hannah. First off, enjoying this so much. What is your advice for someone who is younger, and a majority of clients that they come into contact with are older than them? In my experience, a lot of people automatically assume that you are inexperienced and then they don't take you seriously.
Okay. So Hannah, one of the ways I get around that is, like, I always use this technique. I don't know if this speaks for you. I have no idea about your parents, but I would always say, as a child of an entrepreneur, like Sam's kids could say at 7 years old, as a child of an entrepreneur, that immediately gives you credibility. You just got 20 years of experience. That's one thing. If your parent is an entrepreneur, that's one thing that works. Number two is, I have been obsessed with real estate for a while now. Okay. So the reason I'm telling you this is, a lot of agents have been at it for years. And the challenge is the market that, like, they have years of unlearning to do. And I've been around it long enough to know what's going on with the market today. Do you understand what I just said? That's what I do. So that's how I get around that, Hannah. I would say I work with people that are spending the last 2 years undoing how the market is. Because I'm young, I understand the internet, how houses sell on social media, especially if you're showing. And I grew up with this stuff, where I got guys that are in their 50s that I work with. I can't even get them on Facebook. Now I'm in almost my 50s, but you understand what I'm saying. Are you getting this, Hannah? So you can play it to your advantage if you want. Homes sell on the internet these days. I grew up with that stuff. And I got guys in my business that used to with fax machines. While they're unlearning, I've been born into this.
Yeah. And I'll add to that, Hannah. I got into the business in the very same scenario. What I learned is two things. One, that is your drunk monkey. That is more than anything, the dialogue that you are, it's the identity, like Michael was saying, that you have attached to yourself.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Most people, for the most part, not really thinking that. The other thing is, when you step into your confidence, knowing that you can truly help them. You probably saw in the last market crash, maybe family members, maybe grandparents, maybe people you cared about losing everything because they made a bad decision. You get to step into this with that clarity, with that confidence, with that caring, that my job is not to help you buy or sell a home. My job is to help you get what you want, when you want it, but more importantly, help you make a smart decision because I have that clear perspective. I've seen all sides and I have the right people in my corner. Borrow the credibility of your office.
Yes.
Borrow the credibility of this call. Borrow the credibility of collective coaching and step into your confidence, knowing that what you're feeling is the identity that you attached. It's more often than not the reality. And I'll tell you, my dad, 70 some odd years old, he is oftentimes hiring the younger person because he thinks they have more go-get-itness than the older person. So understand that, you know, everybody has their own perspective. Don't allow your perspective about what you are to determine where you can go in this business.
Yep. I'll tell you, I made a big mistake with this a while ago, and we got a brand new team. So I got some young people on the team. I got 2 people on my team that are under 21 that run multi-million-dollar parts of our business, right? And people, how do you trust them? Well, here's the deal. Our issue with Gen Z or whatever, because I'm a Gen Xer, right? We look at these people and go, oh man, they're blah, blah, blah. Folks, in any generation, 97% of the people don't do shit and 3% do. It's just the way it is, right? The problem is all these people are online, so we see them. If all of Generation X was online, we would think they were useless also, okay? So what I've realized is that there's some great young people out there that are driven. We need to find them, highlight them, and give them credit and go, dude, I'm so glad you're here. So I truly believe I would take younger people sometimes with less going on, and it's an advantage. Like, I don't have kids. I don't have a bunch of responsibilities. I'm at your beck and call. If you want someone that's super busy and has a ton of stuff going on, I can get you an older agent to work with. If you want someone that's got time for you, that's me. You can play it to your advantage.
Love it. Anything you can include about how to obtain better results in cold calling and phone prospecting?
First off, I don't cold call. And the reason I don't cold call is because why would you even call it that? How about you go outside, it's warm out, don't cold call unless you're in cold weather. So I don't even say the words cold call. What I do is I work on my communication by contacting people I don't know yet. Do you understand the difference in frame right there? I don't cold call. Cold call's got a negative stigma. So when Jim Rohn taught me back in the day, Jim was my original mentor. Jim always said, when you're making calls, he used to say to me this. He'd say, go down to the bank and go get $100 in pennies. Sounds silly, but I'm going to go over this real quick. When you're cold calling for the first 100 people, or anytime the phone rings, every time the phone rings and you leave a message, at the end of the week, you're worth about $1, penny a call. The next week, you get nickels. And your phone calls are worth about $5 for the whole week. And the next week, after doing about 300 calls, you're worth about $10. And eventually, after about 4 or 5 weeks, we're on dollars, and you're making about $1 every time the phone rings on average, and eventually tens of thousands of dollars. So we've got to realize that we've got to get the reps in. But what I've realized is when I call people, I don't say the same things other people do. Hi, my name is Sam, and I'm calling from Big Block Realty, and I wanted to, like, the folks, they've heard this. They're ready to hang up on you. Okay, they've already heard that before. So when we call people, we would say, oh, glad you picked up. Perfect timing. At least you got their attention. You get what I just did, Sam? Oh, glad you picked up. Perfect timing. Then you'd say, it's Mike. Did you get that one, Sam? Did you catch that?
Did.
Perfect timing. Well, what did I do? Perfect timing. Glad I caught you. Real quick, I'm calling some people in your neighborhood, represent a real estate company in the neighborhood, and blah, blah, blah. If we're calling for sale by owners, are we calling for sale by owners? Who are we calling?
A lot of times we're calling for sale by owners, just listed, just sold, expired listings, etc.
You could say, hey, I'm just calling people in your area. I saw that you're selling your home. It is gorgeous, and I wanted to know if you had a couple of minutes.
Yeah, you know, I'll add to that, Yvette. I have built my business off of calling and prospecting, and the answer really, I think, is a mirror of everything that Michael has been sharing with us. As soon as you get out of telling them things and step into asking them questions and engaging them in conversation, you in turn find their motivation. And in this scenario, like Michael has been sharing, their motivation is not a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,500 square foot home. The motivation is the people in their life. The motivation is, I had a kid and I need more room. So asking questions uncovers motivation. And like he said, as soon as he finds out my wife's name, Jen, he says, well, let's do this for Jen. Let's do this for your baby. Let's do this so your son has a basketball court outside and he could follow the dream of being in the NBA. We have to ask questions, and we have to remember that when we're prospecting, we're looking for a yes. And the yes is surrounded by an enormous amount of no's. And you have to get through the no's to find the yes. How do you find the yes? Is by being the person that asks questions and engages them in conversation. Statistically speaking, in the real estate business, we have to handle 7 to 8 objections on a call before we can set an appointment. The only way to get through those 7, 8 objections is by asking questions, repeating what they say, approving that it's okay the way they feel, asking the next most logical question. So I would say just one, like he said, look at it like you're practicing. 2, understand a lot of people think that when prospecting, you make money when they say yes. In fact, to me, the money is made when they say no and you keep going.
Exactly.
You are stacking no's because eventually you find that every 78 no's equals a yes. So was it the yes that made you the money, or was it the going through the 78 no's that made you the money? Every no is worth, let's say, $200. Hopefully that helps.
So agree with that. And I always tell everyone, if you figure out your commission, let's say the commission, let's use it at $10,000. Let's just say you make $10,000, right? If it took you 1,000 phone calls, I mean, what is that? $100 a phone call?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I make phone calls for $100. That's the way I look at it. I get $100 a phone call. Who cares? So here's a great line for sale by owners. Are you looking to make a sale, or are you looking to get your house sold?
I'm looking to get my house sold.
Okay. So my question is, I might know someone who wants it. Did you see what I just did? Because a lot of people I call that are doing for sale by owners, they're wanting to make a sale. I want to talk to you what it looks like when your house is actually sold and that check comes to you. So let's chat about that. There's options you might have never thought of.
Very good. All right. Well, we are already over our time. Michael, a few people have asked, I guess simply put, how do they go further with you? What's the best way to learn more about getting your book or maybe participating in some of your trainings? Obviously, we'll have you back on again in the future, but if this resonated with you, which I can tell by the chat it has, what's the best way for them to learn more about engaging with you and going deeper?
Yeah, I got two options. I'd say right off the bat, and forgive me, I got to show you later, Sam, what they're putting in downstairs. It's ridiculous, but they get that noise in the background. There's a lift in the building and all that stuff right now. So number one is you're definitely going to want to get my book, Average Sucks: How to Break Through Your Average. This is amazing. But I'm going to tell you that my book is great. If you're serious about getting where you want to go, I'd love to work with you. And I put together something for Sam's group. For those of you, Big Block, I got a special for you if you're interested in working with me. So let me, before I even get into this, it'll take me a minute. Just give me hands raised if you think having me in your ears like a headset, like move right, move left, do this, do that. How many of you think that'd be pretty badass to get your butt up in the morning or kick some ass, make some things happen? Okay, good. So I'll take a minute and explain this. So I got a program I've been doing for 20 years, hundreds of thousands of people I put through it. It is old school. It's over the phone and it's not on Zoom. I have a $250,000 Zoom studio downstairs and I don't use it for this for one particular reason. The greatest skills in sales we need is listening and speaking. So every month I do a program in the middle of one right now. I got one coming up in February. It's 5 days from the comfort of your home. I get a morning and a night session and it's called Call to Action. It's guaranteed to get you more done in 5 days than you have in 5 months. Learning trigger words, psychological things to trigger yourself and others to take action, increase your confidence, get more things done, push yourself to make your calls, be better with people. And we do it live in this really cool environment, which you're going to love. And it's simple. You can dial in from anywhere. There's a morning, night class. And we teach you how to get out of your comfort zone. And I don't care if you're making $100,000 a year, $1 million a year, or you just got started. I got people this week that run billion-dollar companies on and people that are struggling to make their first deal. So if it's interest to you, normally the program's $600, which I'm normally like 50 grand to work with. It's $600 and you're going to get me. It's $299 for those of you that will work with me. I'm not going to do a sales pitch. You can sell yourself if you want to do this or not. And I put together a website for it, Sam. It's call2actionnow.com with the number call2actionnow.com, like the word call, the number 2 actionnow.com. And someone wants to type it in, they can. I'd love to work with you if you'd like to. Special is good if you want it. I get a course every month for the next 12 months. And that's a special big block pricing if you want it. So
for collective coaching, everybody that's on the call.
collective. Yeah, forgive me, but that's open for your group and collective. That's it. Does that make sense? So for those of you that are here, you got it. If you did want to share with a teammate, you can, but can I ask Sam that they don't post it on the web? Is that fair? Like, don't give that away.
Yes.
Yep. So if you want it, it's yours. And it's no, not $2.99 a month, Donna, $2.99 once, period. That's it. One time. That's it. $300. If you want to work with me further, you can. I'm giving away a confidence audio set with it and a prospecting audio set with it. And I'm giving away a persuasion audio set with it as a gift for collective coaching, because Sam goes, spoil these people. And then once you enroll and do it, it's going to say, do you want my book and an Average Sucks shirt? It's $49. I'll tell you, take it if you want it. And the reason I say get the shirt, because if you walk around town with a shirt that says Average Sucks, people are going to stop you and go, what do you do? I run an above average real estate company, and you use it as a prospecting tool. So people will stop you in the street. It's amazing. It's my gift to you. So calltoactionnow.com. I do not need students for the course. And I want people that want to grow.
I want to address something. This is a strictly, like, we do not allow people to come on here and sell their product. The only reason that Michael is offering this is because a lot of people asked. So, this is for you to get value. But if you saw in the comments, a lot of people are asking how they can go deeper. So for those of us,
that's the only reason I brought it up. If not, I wouldn't have.
No, and I'm glad that you did. And I invited you to, right? Because this is the person I call when I need help. And Cherie has seen him, and we've all been around Michael, and he's a game changer. So if it makes sense for you, make sure you get involved. Any other questions for Michael before?
I can answer anything. Okay,
so can you say the link one more time, please?
Yep. And if we could type it in, that's great. If you want, someone could type it in. It's call, CALL, the number 2, actionnow.com. Call to actionnow.com. And I hit it for you guys. So that way it's not like on my main website. You go to my website, you pay $600. You go to calltoactionnow.com, you get a discount.
You're the man.
And I'd love to give it away. Like Sam, I would tell you, I'd love to give it away, but the problem is then nobody takes anything seriously. So I'd love to say, here, take it. But the problem is I did that for 2020. And out of 10,000 people I give something to, 200 take it. So just unfortunate the way the world works.
I know it. And look, this is the deal. It's the little things that make a big difference. And this in the big scope of things in real estate, we're sold widgets, we're sold leads, we're sold this, that, and the other. It all starts with 2 things. 1, yourself and your confidence, and 2, your ability to effectively communicate and influence people's decision. I always say to people, we do not in this industry have a lead problem. We have a communication and a conversion problem. We have a confidence problem. So if it makes sense for you, go ahead and dive in. And with that said, Michael, thank you for your time. We're going to continue to have more of these sessions every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we have Grant Wise, who's coming on, one of the leading experts for real estate advertising and marketing. The guy, has helped some of the top teams in the country scale and grow their business. So make sure you're up for that. Any other questions for the legendary Michael Bernoff before we call it a day?
I'll answer anything. I got a couple more minutes and then I'm off to go do another training. That's how it works.
You're the man. All right. Well, it looks like that's it. Folks, thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions about any of this, you can reach out to Cherie, Kevin, Trey, myself, whoever, and we'll make sure we get you connected. Let me make sure we're not missing anything. Bunch of thank yous. We'll get the recording out. It generally takes us a few days to get it all cleaned up and put out. We'll make sure we send it to every office, and it'll go in the Big Block group as well. And if you're with Village or any of the other companies, we will send it off to the team and they can distribute it however they see appropriate. Appreciate you guys. Thank you all for the nice words and participating. Any other final thoughts before we break, brother?
Yeah, I just tell everyone, like, every one of you, you have a multi-million-dollar opportunity from the neck up, using your mind and your brain and using your mind power, using what they teach and Think and Grow Rich. And you got a $20 an hour opportunity from the neck down, just doing it through hard work and push. Hard work and push is part of this, but you're going to have to change your thinking, change your mindset, change your communication, because the advice that my parents gave me when I was a kid of work hard and be a good person, that'll get you started. But the real advice is become better with people. If I could tell you on anything in 2023, become better with people before the year ends. And when you're better with people, not more agreeable, but better with people and better influencing yourself and others, you're going to get what it is you want. So remember this, you are great, every one of you. It's time for you to do more great things more often. You already are great. Do more great things more often, and you'll be amazed at the results. So I'm excited to work with so many of you long-term. I'm excited to be part of this. And Sam, you call me whenever you need anything. I'm here for you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Michael. You are a blessing to this world, and thank you for pouring on to everybody today. Everyone that joined us, thank you so much. We will get the recording out ASAP, and we will see you next Tuesday with Grant Wise, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If there's anything we can help you with, please let us know. Michael, love you to the moon and back. Thank you, my brother, and we'll chat soon.
Appreciate you. Lots of love, everyone. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.